Hey y'all, and welcome to day 3 of Hope in the Chaos. I have had such a good time hanging out with you guys, and as simple as this may seem, I just love this time every day where I get a chance to go live with you and talk about things that are true, talk about things that are good, talk about things that are hope-filled. We are not going to bury our head in the sand, but I do want to take some time intentionally every day to talk about some things that are good. So let's just start. I love starting that way. So y'all just tell me in the comments, what are some things that are good? Tell me something good. It can be a small thing. It can be a big thing. I'll tell you something for me. I went I went on a run with my friend Nikki today. Social distance. We kept our distance. And then she brought her son Charlie over, and our neighborhood decided to do this like scavenger hunt thing. And so we have a Facebook group for our neighborhood. And so someone had a great idea. My neighbor had a great idea to do it for St. Patrick's Day. And then we just built on it, where you involve your kids, and you can do this idea if you guys have like Nextdoor or a Facebook group for your neighborhood. So you involve your kids and you get them to draw a picture of something for spring, like some spring item, flowers, ladybugs, butterflies, caterpillar, whatever. And then put it up in your window. If it wasn't raining, it's raining here, but you could hang it on the trees outside, or put it somewhere outside but visible. And then everybody in the Facebook group was saying they were going to participate. And so then you take your kids on a walk through the neighborhood. It's just your family, but you're looking for all these items. And so we kept a little list of okay, we found 3 flowers and 2 ladybugs and 1 butterfly and all these different things in the window. So the kids totally got into it. It was almost like trick-or-treating, darting from house to house, and it wears them out because they're crossing the road back and forth and safely. There's no cars out. We're not doing anything. But it was just such a fun idea. It was such a good idea. And then I took a shower. That's always good. Just clean hair. I feel fresh. I feel clean. I did put on mascara, even though it doesn't look like it. But I'm like, you know what? Little highlighter. I'm like, I'm awake. I'm here for it. You guys are posting such good things. So it's so fun. Y'all are so clean. Hey, Elizabeth. Y'all, your houses are clean. That is amazing. Mine is still not. It's just not. And it's I feel like I should care. But I don't. I don't care. I'm just kind of loving this new pace. Y'all probably saw my post on Instagram today of just embracing this new rhythm, new pace. And I'm kind of loving it, which is good for someone like me that is goes nonstop. But for those of you guys that this is your first day, we had such an awesome day on Wednesday. It was our first day doing it, where I got to hang out with Emily Lay, and we talked about the cadence in her home, actually kind of like that exact thing, the rhythms in your home. And then yesterday I got to hang out with Jamie Ivey, and she is just so lovely and beautiful and wise. And she talked about Romans 12:12 through 13. And that was just such a great word for us, because it literally is kind of step by step what we can be doing in this season, in this waiting, in this weirdness, if I can say that. My background looks good. You're right. This, Amy, is just the frame. That's all you need to see is the frame. I got a pile of stuff over there you can't see. But I just thought that was such a good reminder. And I just love having these conversations with you all. I'll tell you one of the words that's been sticking out to me, just even the last 24 hours, is just the word embrace. Things are so much harder when we fight them. You know what I mean? Like my son, when he fights putting on his jacket, we both end up sweaty and angry and exhausted and frustrating for an activity that should not take any energy whatsoever, putting on a jacket. But when he embraces the jacket, which is almost never, it goes on easier. We're not sweaty. We're not angry afterwards. We just embrace it. And that's the word that I've just been sitting with. So I wanted to share that with you all, of just the idea of embracing where you are, embracing what's going on in your business. I'm not saying we can't try to clean the closet, make it better, do some things in the downtime, still do some things in our business. But I think we need to embrace what's going on as much as we possibly can, and be a part of the solution, obviously. But man, things are so much more exhausting and frustrating. We end up angry when we really fight it, when we fight what's going on, and we can't change what's going on in our world. We can't change the, laws and restrictions and guidelines to keep people safe. And we can just embrace it and just make the best of it. Make a scavenger hunt in your neighborhood. Figure out, what this new normal looks like for you. And I just that word of embrace, I feel like feels really good to me in this season of figuring out, what that looks like for me. And there may be someone, there may be some of you watching right now. They're like, I'm going to absolutely, just rock it in this season. I'm going to make the most of my time. I'm going to reorganize everything. And I think that's awesome. I think you should. And then there might be some people that are watching. They're like, I just want to use this as a permission slip to rest and go slower and not do more and not fill in the calendar. Some of us don't know what to do with free time. We don't know what to do with a clear calendar. We make stuff up. And so I think it can just be a really cool time where we get to define what our new normal looks like. We get to embrace the reality of the limitations and the new normal we're in right now. Embrace that. And then figure out within that world, what does your version look like, your version of normal look like. And I think there can be such power in just embracing that. So I would love to hear from you guys too. Like, what does that look like for you? What does it look like to embrace where you are and what you're going through? And I'm really excited because I do have a friend joining me today, and many of you love her, and you're going to be so excited because she's just brilliant. And we're going to have a fun perspective from her because she has had an interesting week, and so that's going to be really fun. I'm excited to talk to her. And I also have some of your questions that many of you have asked, and I'm going to answer some of those. So we'll dive into that and get to some of those. Some of you answered questions on my sticker that I posted on Insta Stories, and so I'm going to answer some of those questions. We got here one from Bravely Bree, and she says, how can I comfort parents? My mom is freaking out. And I would just give you two simple words. One, empathy. I think empathy is really powerful. If you just act like she's just overreacting, it's not a big deal. It doesn't make her feel seen and heard. It doesn't make her feel like her feelings are validated, because those feelings are very real for her, even if you disagree, even if they may be an overreaction to what's going on. So I just say empathy, like, that sounds really hard. I know it's scary. That is frustrating. Those types of empathetic words really make people feel seen and heard. So I think that can be really, really powerful. And then the second thing I would say is to demonstrate calm yourself, to show how you can be calm. And when you're calm is actually contagious, believe it or not. It's amazing how contagious calm can be. And so when you're calm yourself, it actually becomes contagious to those around you. So when your spirit is calm, your everything about your presence is calm, your words are calm. And then you can also just encourage your mom maybe to turn the news off. I actually did that with a friend yesterday who was just having some anxiety. I said, listen, we need to know what to do. So we do need to know what to do. We need to know what rules, restrictions, that type of thing. But we do not need to mess over it. And so we want to be able to know what's going on enough to cooperate, be in line with the laws, to help, that type of thing. But we don't have to watch it every single day, because what's amazing is what goes in your mind is what you will feel. Your body will exhibit anxiety and nervousness, even if you're not consciously thinking you're trying to be nervous, but just by that input all day, every day. Social media can be a source of that, friends and family that are, a nervous wreck. So I just told my friend, turn it off. You know enough. You need to stay home. You need to wash your hands. You are safe. You are doing that. You don't need to know anything else. What Matt and I have done, just as a simple practice, is Matt and I every single night have watched the news for just a couple minutes, or scrolled Twitter for just a couple minutes, just to get the highlights of like what happened that day. And so that's just been a good kind of practice for us to know that, we know what's going on, and that's all we need to know. We don't need to obsess over it. So, Kaylin, if you will shoot a text to our guest and make sure that she's joining us today. I'm so excited about her. She'll be on in just a minute. Heritage Homestead Farms has a great question here. How do we handle business promotion during crisis? I have a launch scheduled for 8/1. This is a tricky question. This is a question I've been wrestling with. I'm going to give you some advice that is the best advice I could possibly think of right now. You need to do what's right for you. You need to do what feels right in your gut, in your intuition. I'll give you an example. We have an academy open enrollment coming up, and we are working through how to still do that, because we want to help people, and this is how we help people, and meet them where they are and make it easier and that type of thing. All right, Annie's here. All right, Annie, add me, request to join. I'm so glad you're here. Make it easier on them as well to lessen the burden. Some people are straight up giving things away for free, and some people are doing launches as if nothing's happening. I don't want to say this is right or wrong. I will say that my gut, my intuition that I feel is that if you move forward with launches and promotions as if nothing's going on in the world, to me, it comes across as insensitive. So even if we decide to do our Academy open enrollment, it's going to look very different than how we've done it before, because I don't want to come across as insensitive, like we're just promoting our stuff and we're not aware that people are hurting. Instead, we're saying, how can we work our program and our launches to meet people where they are, where we can show them this gives hope. And that's why we're still doing it. If it didn't, we wouldn't. But we're going to make changes to it. Annie, I'm just going to add you here. Let's see if I can do it. I don't know why it's not working. Let's see. Requested when you go live. Oh, y'all, I don't know why Annie's not being added. I tried to add you a minute ago, Annie, and it didn't. Let's see if I can add you here. Annie. Tried you a minute ago and said Annie is not able to do it. Do you have any kind of... you did this the other day, didn't you, Annie? Where you went live with sign on. Shanta says sign off and sign back on again. It'll pop up. All right, Annie, sign off and then join again. Yeah, you just did it. Okay, stop watching, sign off, sign back on. Try it again. If she leaves and comes back, it'll work. We'll figure it out. But anyway, so we're just trying to work around what does it look like to continue to move forward to help people, which we believe in, but lessen the burden on them. So things that, like, whether it's price or payment plans or whatever, we're going to work on we're going to work around a way to make it more accommodating to people in a way that we normally wouldn't, probably. You know what I mean? Exceptions we wouldn't normally make. And we don't have that totally figured out. We're working on it. We're trying to figure out what does it look like to serve our Academy members and open it up. And still do it and be sensitive to it. So I think you have to figure out what's right for you. There's probably a spectrum here of, like, not doing anything and giving everything away for free. And that's one major extreme. And then another extreme is going to be pretending like nothing's going on and you just go for it. And I think there's a scale here where you slide and you do what's right for you. But again, there's no playbook for this. There's no playbook. And so it's not like we've got a template, a blueprint of, like, this is how you do it when the world is shutting down. We don't know. We're all doing the best we can. So I think if you put the right heart behind it and you're authentic, then you'll do the right thing. But also, a lot can change by August. Heritage Homestead Farms, a lot can change by August. Papa G says, should a business have an emergency fund? Absolutely. Absolutely. And a lot of businesses are able to still pay their employees right now, even though because of that emergency fund. Okay, let's see here. See if I can add Annie one more time. I got another question here from Sarah Grace Cookie Company. She says, how do I set goals right now and how to stay on top of the goals that got interrupted? So the goals that got interrupted, I think that's, again, goes back to my word of embrace. Like, you've just got to embrace that because they did get interrupted. And if you want to reset on those and say, okay, I'm going to do them, but differently in a different time frame, that's fine. If you want to set new goals, your new goals should reflect your current reality. They should reflect your current situation. Like, we're not going to set a goal to put on a bunch of live events because that's crazy. That's not allowed right now. So any new goals need to reflect the current reality. They're not permanent goals. These need to be probably 3 to 6 months goals of, like, this is this season. I'm gonna set goals in the season. What does it look like in the season? But then all of those goals that got interrupted, as you said. Okay, requested. Why am I so difficult? Annie, I don't know, sis. You know how to do this. You got this. Annie, there you are. Oh, y'all, this is gonna work. I can feel it. It's going to be worth the wait. Hey, we've got your questions we're answering, which is great, though. This is awesome. And we're talking about racing.
I'm like an internet person. I'm so dumb. I'm so sorry. What is wrong with me?
Of all the people, I worried about you the least.
Same. I couldn't find the button. I couldn't know nothing. I'm sorry. Hi.
I was
learning so much from you.
Oh, you're very kind. I was going to text you, but I was like, but I'm on my phone. So I'm not sure how to text her when I'm on my phone on the live. And then I was like, well, I could text through my computer, but then I'm like, Caitlin, why don't you just give her a call? Why don't you?
Yeah, I'm doing a great job. I'm a real helpful friend for you.
I watched your live last night with Ellie, which was so fun. We have the sing song book. My boys call it the sing song book. Who sang the first song? We don't have the new one. We have to get it, but we love that book so much, and I think it's so fun what you're doing.
I mean, it has been. I've done it 2 nights in a row. We're going to do it again tonight. Of just literally reading a picture book for 15 minutes to kids. Thousands of people are watching, and it is just the sweetest. It just feels like this moment. I don't know how many of our friends listening know this, but 11 days ago, I was exposed to coronavirus. So I've been.
Let's talk about it. All the things.
I've been in quarantine by the health department since last Tuesday. And so it has been very hard. But these kind of things, like seeing you and like reading these books, like reading them out loud and having all these kids. Last night at the end, I said, draw a picture of an animal, send it to me. My DMs explode. I mean, hundreds and hundreds of pictures drawn by kids. And you just go, man, God knows how to meet your needs, and that you can meet my needs and through Instagram Live reading a kid's book. So
you know what I think is so cool about you doing that though, and even us doing this is I feel like it's really easy when the whole world changes or something major changes to sit around and kind of wait permission to do something about it. And it's like, you just decided you're going to do that. I just decided, I'm like, I didn't ask anybody in my company. I'm like, I'm just going to make up this series and I'm going to send some emails and I'm going to text some friends. And you're like, I'm going to start this thing. And then what's so great is it's not a reactive thing that happens later, like 2 weeks after. It's like you're in the middle of the crisis, bringing joy as you're reading books to these kids. And it's just, and what a fun way. I was giving some tips a couple days ago to like our small businesses. And I was saying, I was like, it's so easy to feel paralyzed. I was like, but here's 3 things you can do right now. 3 things you can do right now. I was like, number 1, just love your people. Yes. Love your people. I don't know what that looks like. I have no idea. For me, it's showing up at 1 o'clock every day for 10 days, just talking to friends. For you, it's in the evening, you're trapped at home reading books to these adorable kids. Like, it's something. It doesn't have to be perfect. It doesn't have to be planned. You don't need approvals. Just get out there and love your people. And I love that you're doing that.
Well, I think the other thing because so many of our friends watching are small business owners like you and I, or business people like you and I. And there's this tendency to go, okay, well, because this is changing and I have some pretty significant changes that have happened in my business this week because of the environment that we are in right now. I mean, we have lost some money.
Yes.
To be very frank.
Yes.
And we've had to stop a hire that was going to happen. I've had to have hard conversations already with my employees. But what is actually true about God's kingdom is, and what you're doing and what I'm doing is, I don't make any money reading kids' books to kids. No, you're not making any money doing this. Generosity is going to get us to the other side.
That's right.
And so for all of us that own small businesses, you can be worried, you can make plans. There is a way that we can live these next couple of weeks as generous people of God or as carpetbaggers. And we get a choice whether we're going to show up and start asking for money. I'll make your life better. Or we can show up and go, hey, here's the thing. Hey, I'm here,
Well, and that's what we were just talking about. I don't know if you saw it when you were, before you hopped on, I was answering some questions. I
was here the whole time. I was paying attention the entire time.
One of the questions was the Heritage Homestead Farms asked, how do we handle business promotion during crisis? I have a launch scheduled for August. First of all, who knows what's going to happen by August? But I said, what's so interesting is I said, I feel like there's a spectrum here where it's like on one end, there are people that are giving away everything for free and they're not doing anything. The other end is like moving ahead as if nothing ever happened, like, which seems a little insensitive. I feel like there's a scale in the middle of going, okay, as a small business person, I want to get out there and help. I have to keep the lights on. I want to keep paying my team members that cost money. And so we have to figure out creatively how to continue to bring in revenue. And no one's exempt from this. Not Dave Ramsey, not you, not me. Massive organizations, entire industries are thinking, how can I keep the lights on? How can I be generous and meet people where they are and be smart and rethink things? Because like you said, like, for example, you and I, one thing we have in common with what we do is it's very event based. Events are canceled. With every event that's canceled, money's canceled. So I love the idea. What I was telling them before is I said, I think you have to really lean on the Holy Spirit in you and your intuition and figure out where do you fall on that spectrum? What does that look like for you to run your business during these times? And it may change day to day, and that's fine. You've permission because there's no playbook for this. No one says, here's the blueprint for how you do business during these times. Okay. So Annie, I want to hear, I have so many questions for you. And I want
you to say is we're not giving away our books. We're not stopping running our business. We've just created something new for the people that we already love that serves them where they are.
To show up. Well, you know what I've told my team, Annie, is, we have, email newsletters and we have social posts and all these things that just go out, and they've been going out, and other people, some people write on marketing. They've been in the can forever. And I've just put a stop to all of it. I said, I don't want anything going out with my name on it without me seeing it first, because it could come across as insensitive. And some things there's still paid social ads that are going out that I didn't even realize. And we're trying to just stop those things, not to stop business, but to put a different language on it. Yeah. To say that we're sensitive to that. I think Matt's locked out of the house. Can you just teach for a minute? You hold down.
Let me finish what you were saying. She's right, you guys. I mean, I don't know about y'all when you're taking in content right now, but I'm not looking for when I'm scrolling through my podcast I'm listening to, I'm not listening to stuff from 3 weeks ago. I want Sanjay Gupta talking to me today, right? I want John Mark Comer from Bridgetown Church talking to me today. And so we get this opportunity as small business owners. So what can we create today? We're doing it with my podcast. We've got the Monday and Thursday shows that have advertisers that have paid. But then every day we're doing these little 30-minute quarantine episodes that me and my buddy Eddie are doing in the morning. And so it's how do we meet the needs right now with the work you've already done and the way that you're already handling it. We talked about it. Your husband got locked out of the house.
This is not the first time I've done this, Annie. This is not the first time I've done this. One time, do you remember, did I tell you about this? Like 2 seasons ago when I was doing an academy open enrollment, I was doing my Facebook Lives, answering all the questions about joining the academy. And literally in the chat, my husband says, I'm locked out. But I was scrolling through the chat to answer questions and go, oh, Matt's locked out. And someone commented, that was 15 minutes ago.
Oh my gosh. How does he get locked out? I have questions about your doors.
I don't know. I mean, we really should just leave the keys in it like you do, right? Like he would not have to worry about
Right. Oh man, I haven't done that in so long.
Okay.
I'm locked out of this house. Yeah. Okay, you have questions for me.
I'm back. I have questions for you because you're trapped. I mean, I have questions for you anyway, but specifically about being trapped.
Yeah.
Talk to me. What is it like?
It's no joke.
Like you are a social person, and I know that writing is lonely work, but this is 7 days. Talk to me. So
far, yeah. I got 4 more, and then I'm out. I'm out next Tuesday. I break out next Tuesday. Hopefully not with any diseases. It is very bizarre. It is different every single day. It feels different. So the rules from the health department for me in our particular case of our group of friends who were together almost 2 weeks ago now, is I can't drive anywhere, because if you get in the car, even though it's like a little quarantine mobile, if I get in a wreck and I have it, then I'm exposing it to everybody, right?
This is more intense than I realized. I didn't realize you could not leave.
Christy, I haven't left my house.
Do you need food? Can I bring you some food?
People bring me food almost. Well, I have groceries, but someone's bringing me a Chick-fil-A drink today. I mean, yeah, and when I eat lunch with people, I sit on my porch and they sit on the sidewalk in a chair. I have these chairs that I set out by my door. I mean, I'm allowed to walk around my neighborhood once a day for 30 minutes. And other than that, I am inside.
Do you feel like a leper?
Yeah. You know, that has been an interesting part of it is I live in a condo complex because I believe in Dave Ramsey budgeting. Mm-hmm. And I wanted to live in the neighborhood I wanted to live in. And so I found the house I could afford in the neighborhood I wanted to live in, a condo. And they had to send an email to the whole complex that someone in the complex was quarantined. And so it has had this feeling of like unclean.
Yeah.
You know? Yeah. And it's been a very strange, but the good thing is I don't have any symptoms, so I'm not sick.
Right.
None of us that were with my friend who actually is sick have gotten sick, which is amazing.
That's great.
But yeah, it is a very, it is a strange feeling. Like I woke up this morning, I was like, oh, I don't get to leave again today. I'm in here. And the health department calls me. And I have to, when she calls, she's lovely. When she calls, I have to tell her that I'm here. I have to tell her that I haven't seen anybody. No one's come over. I mean, I haven't been in a room with a person since last Friday.
I mean, I'm just waiting for them to put the ankle bracelet on you for house arrest to like track your coming and going.
Yeah, because I have to, and I always have to take, every time she calls, I have to take my fever, take my temperature. I have to, she goes through the list of symptoms. I have to say, no. Luckily. And also let me say, I'm grateful. We want this to be discontained.
Sure. But this has to be just because surely this has to be to this level because you were kind of on the front end of admitting because there's no way they are tracking everyone that's been exposed to anybody by now.
Right. So because we were literally, my friend was the like top 10 cases in Davidson County. She was 10.
Okay.
And so
they were on it.
But even today on the phone, the girl says, hey, I'm not going to call you anymore because now I have to call people who have cases of COVID-19. Right. But you still have to take your temperature every day and check in with me. And you don't get to leave your house till Wednesday.
Still behave, basically.
Yeah. Just because mom isn't here doesn't mean there aren't rules. It's
right. Yeah. Oh, my God.
It's been, luckily, we have jobs where we can do this.
Right.
This hasn't made me unable to work. It's changed how I work. Can I take you and show you my podcast studio?
Please.
You're not even ready, Christy.
I'm so ready.
I should have FaceTimed you already and shown you this in real life.
So it's so funny you're saying that because what is happening? What is that? Yeah.
I used real nails to nail a blanket to the wall. There's my microphone. That's actually my prayer chair that I now put my butt in. Oh, sorry.
That's very petite.
And it is. It's very small. And then my computer sits right there, and my microphone's right there, and I'm in podcast studio.
Okay, so it's funny you say that because we've been like, scrambling, figuring out, how we're going to keep things going out, getting things set up.
Oh yeah, there you go.
Like just trying to figure because whenever I get off this, I'm going to try to figure out how can I record this? I got to get my mic. Like, same thing from home because you're just like last night. Here's the thing. I kind of love it. Like, I kind of love the scrappiness of it.
Yes.
And I kind of love the authenticity of it because at our office, we have a tendency to do everything so polished and so produced. And I'm like, I'm a real person and I want people to see the real me because that is who I am.
Right.
And so I kind of love that, like, if we're able to do this and pull this off and put my videos on YouTube and my podcast and it's not perfect, I'm like, like, I kind of love that they get to see that because this is, we're all in these trenches together now. We're all like I watched last night Jimmy Fallon and Jennifer Garner.
I'm loving his show.
Like he's at home. Jennifer Garner, she's playing the saxophone. Like it's just
his
like
daughter's diving all over him is the world's sweetest.
I'm like this is perfect. You know what I mean? I'm like this is where we can connect as real people doing real things.
I'm with you. I will really enjoy the scrappiness of this when I can get in my car and go to the store. Like
when you can get your own Chick-fil-A.
In a room. Because, I mean, and you know this because you know my life really well. Not married yet. Don't have any kids. So I am as alone as I've ever been in my life.
Yeah.
And so I'll just be glad even when I can. I mean, I haven't had a hug since last Friday.
Oh,
right? And so.
I like order.
I just think it'll be nice. I feel like my brain will get to switch to self-quarantining on behalf of the people. But I'll tell you this, Christy, for our friends listening, this thing is no joke. My friends that are sick are really sick. We aren't just doing this, keeping our hands clean for old people.
Yeah.
You don't want to catch this thing.
How are your friends?
Fun. Huh?
How are your friends? Are they?
Everyone is I know about 20 of them that have all gotten sick from the same event. And there's one guy in the hospital today because he was having breathing problems there. I mean, it's just a lot it's everything. It's flu-ish. Yeah. It just is like day 8 is the worst day.
Okay.
I mean, that is a long time to be sick.
Yeah.
So when we're self-quarantining, do it for yourself. Do it for the people in your life you don't want to get sick, but do it because you don't want this thing.
Right. Yeah.
This ain't an average sneeze.
Yeah.
It's gross. It's bad.
Yeah.
So, but it's nothing that you aren't hearing on the news. It's
It's
you know.
Well, I think it's just such a good reminder though to be wise and not feel like we're invincible and that type of thing. So
come prepped. Is that what you're about to ask me?
What?
You told me to come prepped with a.
Well, so what I'm curious with your perspective because I keep relating this to the storm. Like, we're in a storm. We don't know how long the storm's going to last. We don't know how bad it's going to be. It's pretty bad so far. But I feel like in a storm, and especially with the news, Annie, like, so many competing, conflicting, scary news. And it's like, I do this, I don't do this, I can't do this, I can't do that. That people just feel all out of sorts. Like they're grasping at straws. And so I like this idea of anchoring. I'm like, I like anchoring because you can cling to those things. You can stand on those things. Those things do not move. Right. And so that's kind of the theme I've been sticking with, of just asking people, and it could be a verse or it could be a practice or whatever, but especially for you being home, you know, and the perspective you have, I would love to know, like, is there something specific that comes to mind, a theme or whatever, that you've been anchoring to in this?
So I think we're all going to get to do a version of this before this is done. And I feel like I can go first in a lot of ways. Mm-hmm. And so here's my big tip of how we anchor in this is you still have to have your normal life as best you can. Okay. You've got to, however you exercise when you're normally exercising, when you're normally living your life, try to do that now. How you eat in your these are not snow days where we get to sit around and do nothing, right? Because at first it feels like 2 weeks in your house, you're going to get so much done. And then, so I made a bucket list. Hold on, I'll show you. I made a bucket list of all these things I wanted to get done. And it was really good for my soul to make it. But the truth is, I then had 5 work days. Right. So I haven't gotten to a lot of the stuff I thought I'd get to. These are not snow days. These are new ways we're going to live for a couple of weeks. Yeah. And so the way you anchor in this storm is you get dressed, you get your life going, you work on your business. I have a friend a girl who works in my company. She and her husband, they have 2 kids. They both are working from home and they're trading off 2-hour chunks. Right. Mm-hmm. So in her 2-hour chunk, she's all the way working and she's all the way there. My life looks a little different because I don't have a husband and kids here. And so but I'm not kidding you, Christy. I did not want to get out of bed at all today. I didn't want to get ready. I just wanted to be sad that I'm stuck here. Yeah. And instead I made myself. Yeah. And I didn't like it, but I was like, just get up and just take a shower. You'll feel better when you take a shower. Yeah. I think it is just and I know tomorrow's my day off. Yeah. And this was normal life. And I felt like I didn't want to work on Friday. Right. Who cares? Right. Right. You still go to work. Yeah. And so to me, that would be my anchor, especially after getting to hear Jamie yesterday. Jamie was so solid of like, here's the spiritual truth. I'm here to say, here's the physical truth. You got to put pants on. Like, make yourself put pants on. Like, I know you don't want to because you're home and all the kids are home, but like, you're going to have to do some of the things you don't want to do to make this your new reality for a while. Yeah. How long? I'm not saying we're going to do this for a month, but I'm here for another week. Yeah. And so I'm like, I've got to, if I just stayed in my pajamas and watch TV, my company does not survive that. Right. Right. Well, and it makes you feel even more out of sorts because that's not how you really normally live your life. So I was giving an example of like, I went for a run today with my friend Nikki, and then we did a little scavenger hunt, and then I took a shower, and I'm doing this. I'm going to set up some things for the podcast later. So I like the idea too of like, I think you said the way you phrased it when you first said it is something like as normal as you can, but knowing that it may be different because like, I know a lot of my friends, almost all of my friends are working from home and they have no childcare. And so you can't. Yeah. So let me just, you can't. You can't work from home with your kids there like a real work day. You can't. Right. And so when you've got 3 kids running around and you are still trying to work, and it doesn't matter if you've got Disney Plus because those kids are going to be in your face because they're way more interested in you than Disney Plus. I guarantee you. They want to know what you're doing and typing on the computer. So I think there's something too of like, what does this new normal look like where you've got elements of that security and safety and like you're working, your exercise, your pants, that kind of thing. But being okay that it doesn't look like you would if you had childcare and you were going to an office every day. You know what I mean? Right. Or if you get up and you try to get going the day and you need to get back in bed for 30 minutes. Fine. Right. Like there's so much grace. I think you said it so beautifully, Christy. There is no manual for this. No. If you would have told me a month ago, Annie, get ready to spend 14 days in your house without leaving. Absolutely not. We do not know how to do this. All we can do is the best with what we have, and everyone's going to respond differently, especially small business owners. We all have to respond differently. When you have your 3 kids at school and you're able to make all the things at home that you're selling, it's so different than when your kids are there. And so And it's the same for me. My life is so different when I'm out and about and living than when my whole world is here.
Right.
Right.
Yeah.
And so giving yourself grace, but making yourself be a person, right? It's got to be both. Give yourself grace, but put your pants on.
Well, it makes you feel some sense of normal, because if not, it's like the first few days I totally treated like snow days, and I was kind of aimless, and I just felt literally aimless. I was like, my calendar is empty. I have nothing specific that I'm looking forward to, like planning for, because I don't know if any of it's going to happen. Right. And I felt, purposeless, and not like, I mean, it's fine to like rest, but at the same time, like today, simple things like, taking a shower and I mean, just putting your pants on, those things give you some sense of normalcy. And what's interesting is, we've talked about this when you've been at Business Boutique before, because a lot of my Business Boutique ladies, they've been working from home for years. They've run their home-based business.
That's right.
And what's interesting is a lot of my friends that are not in the Business Boutique audience, they don't have home-based businesses, they have offices. I think a lot of women, people, I'm sure, but specifically women that, worked an office job and now they've been instructed to work at home. At first, they're like, this is awesome. Okay. Pajamas all day. Don't mind if I do. Won't wash my hair for 18 days. Perfect. Love it. Like, they're so excited. And then about day 3, they're like, they feel gross. They're not getting anything done. And it's what we have taught at Business Boutique for years, that even though you work from home, you have to treat your business like a real job, where you get up, and research even shows that if you get ready for the day, whether that's a shower, pants, whatever, your version of ready, it actually switches your mind into a different gear, and you become more productive. You enjoy your work more. I enjoy myself and anything I'm doing when I'm showered and I feel good.
Right.
And so I love that you have permission. It's again, that balance of like, I have permission for it not to be perfect and look like it did before. And there are elements that I do want to hold on to because it makes me feel some sense of normalcy.
Yes. I mean, I haven't put real shoes on except to go out. I haven't worn like cute shoes all week. You don't have to go. If you want to go there, I'm not going there. I've got my glitter slipper. Hold on. Yeah. I've got my glitter slippers on every day, all day long, except when I'm outside. And so everyone's going to find their line, but that's it, Christy. You said it beautifully. Just get ready, get your version of ready, and go to work. But because we just have to believe this wasn't an accident. God didn't do this, but God's going to use this. And so I'm not kidding you, Christy. If this was just you and me talking and we were sitting at lunch, I would tell you, I feel like there are elements of what I've gotten to do in the last 10 days that I was born to do, that I would have never known without.
Yeah. That's amazing.
I mean, I'll look back on my life and go, the ministry I got to do, when I got to tell kids last night, they don't have to be afraid. Mm-hmm. Like when I got to say to parents, like, guess what? You don't have to be afraid either, because I've got thousands of people watching me read a kid's book. Mm-hmm. That kind of ministry is a gift. Mm-hmm. I may not get to leave my house, but that's a gift. And so I'm not going to waste this. Yeah. Now I am taking tomorrow off, and tomorrow's my day off. I won't be on the internet. I won't use social media. I won't use my TV. It'll be a real day off, and I'll probably cry because I feel lonely, and I'll read a book and take a nap. And then we're back at it again on Sunday, believing that God's using technology and the things that we have to do something that we've never gotten to do before. No one before us, Christy, on the planet has been able to do work and ministry like we're able to do right now. God picked us to be the adults right now. That's crazy. I don't want to waste it.
And to experience something like you said that our world has never experienced. Not like this, ever. I would be curious, Annie, before we wrap up, because I want to respect your time. I know,
Please, hold on, a lot of people need me in here. Everybody. No. What? No. 4 minutes. No, you'll be fine.
She's busy. Okay. Just give her another second.
Just give me
busy.
Just a second.
She's busy. I know. I asked Jamie yesterday because I was like, I just guessed. I was like, would you be game for like 20 minutes, maybe 30 minutes all night? And I had another question. I was like, is that okay? She goes, I have nothing but time.
I mean, I wish when people FaceTime me, I'm like I can't answer. Like, where am I?
I'm sorry. Unavailable right now. Which I think is funny for people like me and you, especially like as a sidebar. It's like, we're so busy most of the time. We don't know what to do with margin. Now you've been really good, and I've learned so much from you, Annie, on the Sabbath, this idea of actually taking a break, and you really do it. And I don't. And I am inspired by that, and I learn from that, and like I'm always challenged by that. But I think for a lot of people, whether you take a Sabbath or not, just we don't know what to do with free time. Truly, like we're like almost like it can be paralyzing where we're like, I don't know. I was saying yesterday, I was like, I know how to do 5,000 things or 0, but not like 12. I can't.
Yes.
I don't know. I
just can always think of something else. That's all your dreamers, starters, and builders that are here.
Yeah.
Always, when we finish this thing at work, there's a closet to clean out, or there's there's always something, and we just have to. This is going to teach us how to slow down.
Yeah. Okay. So I'm curious. How are you seeing God in this? Like specifically, how do you feel like if you want to, whatever you're comfortable sharing, but like not necessarily what you're doing in ministry, but even just like you've been at home for a long time.
Yeah.
And I'm always so just like your faith and your knowledge of the Bible and just how you live out your faith is so beautiful, Annie. And like, I just like for someone like you to experience something like this, I'm just curious, like, how are you seeing God right now at home by yourself?
Yeah. This morning I'm reading the Gospels every month. I'm looping through them every month as my reading plan for the whole year. I just thought I want to read the same thing 12 times and see what happens.
Yeah.
And I'm a little bit behind. And so I'm this morning. And that's the story that Linus does in the Christmas Peanuts movie.
Okay.
And so it's one we all know super well. The shepherds saw the angels and said, do not be afraid. And it just brought a lump to my throat because I had this moment where I thought, this is such a familiar piece of work in such an unfamiliar time, and so for me, what I've seen of God is his foundationalness, if that makes sense, that like literally, if we build our life on him, if we build our life that he is the rock, it's a childhood story of the house on the rock and the house on the sand, but we are experiencing something that no one's ever experienced before. And I sit there too, and I go, oh yeah, you are the same God at Christmas. And that is what my life is built on, not my career and not my life is built on that God is the same God at Christmas that he is today. Yeah. And he will be in 6 months when this is a 9/11 thing. Our lives won't go back to what it was before.
Right.
I don't know what it'll look like, but it won't be the same as this.
Yeah.
Or what we used to know. It'll be good and it'll be fine. And we'll get to the other side of this with something new. But he has taught me again that he is the absolute foundation of life. And that I've said, especially when businesses started turning maybe 2 days ago. Yes, Lexi, that he's protecting kids too. I think it's unbelievable that kids aren't getting sick at a rate that they could be.
My fear and anxiety would be completely different now if it was somehow target.
Children,
and kids catch everything, by the way. So it's not like you can keep them.
It feels a little like the story of the Passover where they put the blood of the lamb over the doorway.
Yes,
I'm just like, the Lord has put the blood of the lamb over children.
Yeah,
and the sickness is passing over them.
And
I think it's beautiful. But yeah, I think him being foundational in our lives is what we get to see. If we're
you know what I've seen, and I love that because it really is. It says it in Scripture, and we say it in prayers. We're getting to live it right now.
Yeah.
We're getting to practice what we preach and feel what we teach and actually believe it in a different way. But you know what, Annie? I'm seeing it. Like, I'm seeing believers rise up with a level of faith about this thing more than they do about their jobs, about their marriage, about their finances. It's like we can trust God with the coronavirus and a complete world epidemic, but like, I don't know if you can actually help me pay this bill. You know what I mean? It's funny. It's like we struggle with the little things, but in this, I really am seeing this wave of faith of people saying like, my God is still on his throne. My God has got this. My God, it's like there's this.
And we also
got chills
say, but Lord, help my unbelief, right?
Yes.
I believe, but help my unbelief.
Yes.
Right?
Yeah. I love that. And I love that reminder, and that you, even like you said, like you could read something again and again, and it's like, it says the word is living and breathing. Nice. And it's like, it really is. It will have something new will jump out to you no matter how many times you read it.
What a gift, right? That's how we get to keep reading it, because it's new every time, but it's also old every time.
Yeah.
It's old every time. So
yeah. Always true. I love that. Well, that's the one thing, that's really the heart behind this whole idea, was just to give people something true. even in the news. We're not sure what is true. Are the numbers real? This news, this says this says this. It's like, okay, let's focus on what is true. Let's focus on what is unchanging, unwavering from the beginning of time until the end of time. Like, we can focus and root ourselves on what is true. And so I love even that reminder, even before we wrap up, that we can just, we can anchor to those things that are unchanging. For those of you watching that aren't getting the journal questions, Annie, I'm sending out journal questions afterwards. So I'm going to write these up if there's any specific ones you want me to put in. But I want you guys to get those. I send a link to the recap video and a summary of Annie and I's conversation, all of them that I'm doing for these 10 days. And then also some journal questions, because Annie, I know you're big on journaling. I am too. But I can sit and consume, I can listen to a sermon, but man, when I sit down to write about it, I'm amazed at what comes out of my heart and what comes out of my head on paper. And God changes me more sometimes in the journaling than he did during the sermon. So I've been on a big journaling kick lately, and I've been encouraging my, friends to do that. So anyway, so I'll send you guys those journal questions. If you're not getting emails, it's businessboutique.com/hope. And I'll make sure that you get all of them to make sure that you get those if you want to. I just think that takes it a step further from listening to internalizing. And inviting God into it, because we're having this conversation as friends, super scrappy, making it up. But what's cool is when you quiet your mind and quiet your spirit and sit down with a pen to paper, God may speak things to you that you never saw coming, that Annie and I didn't say.
That's right.
And Annie and I don't know.
Yeah.
And so give him an opportunity to do that. So Annie, before we wrap up, would you just pray for everyone watching now, for people watching later? We're going to post this later on IGTV and Facebook. We just pray for us and really help us remember that idea of foundation. I love that word.
Yeah, Lord. So we just bring this new day to you, this new thing that you have invited us to live in. And Lord, we first ask in protection for our bodies. Would you keep us healthy? Would you keep the virus away from us and from our children, from our parents? God, we just ask that you would cover us. Would you cover us and keep us well? Lord, we are in a new time, and I just have to believe that none of this surprised you, that you are still faithful and true, that you are the foundation of our lives. And so, God, when the storm gets loud and big and violent, would you remind us to look at our feet and see that we're still standing on you? Would you just remind us to look there? And so, God, I ask that for my friends who are listening along, if they are new to learning what it's like for you to be their foundation, when they open the Bible, would they find you right away? And God, for those of us that have been, for my friends listening that have known you for a long time, would you make scripture brand new and really old at the same time? God, would you use this time where our schedules are different and our lives are different to increase our personal relationship with you? Would we come out on the other side knowing you better than anything else? That's what I want. When this is done, I want to say that I know you better and that you know me better. Because of the time we've had together. So, Lord, would you do that for all of us? In Jesus' name, amen.
Amen. Annie, thank you. You know what I love about our conversation that just came to mind is I think it's so easy. We were talking about even in business with launches, like to live in extremes. And we live in one extreme or the other. And I feel like it's so easy to, if you're a person of faith, be like, Jesus, Jesus, Jesus. Like, it's just my faith is everything, which is true. But to the point that you don't do anything, you just, God's going to fix it. And then there's the other extreme of like, I'm going to pull myself up by my bootstraps. I'll invite God along the way. It's self-help, personal development, do it yourself. And it always feels mutually exclusive. And I feel like it's not. Like, my heart is the and. It's the yes and. And I love that we started by put your pants on.
Yeah.
And Jesus is your foundation.
That's right. Pray
I don't think it's
pants on. That's what I'm here to say.
I don't think it's either or. I think it's both. I think it's work like it all depends on you and pray like it all depends on God. And we're going to need both. And I love that because our conversation, once we got you in here, started so practical, like take a shower, put on pants. And it ended with like, Scripture is living and breathing, and it's like these are not either or, people. These are both, and I just love that. We didn't even plan that, but I just love how God does that of that reminder.
Yeah, thanks for doing this, Christy. Thanks for having me on. I'm excited to watch tomorrow.
Annie, you're awesome. Thanks for being here, and I'll talk to you later, friend. Hey, let me know if I can bring you some food.
All right, good. I will. Don't worry.
All right, bye, friend.
Bye.
Y'all, isn't Annie just the best? Like, she is just I have so many friends that I learned from, and she is one of those that is just so beautiful. And I love how she loves Jesus, and I love how Jesus shines through her. And I'm just so grateful for our friendship. I'm also grateful for just really smart people that get to come on here and share truth with you and with me. And I'm thankful for technology that makes it happen. But I love you guys. I hope y'all are encouraged by this. I'll send your email recap in a little bit. If you don't get those, it's businessboutique.com/hope. And we'll repost it on IGTV and Facebook, so you can share it with your friends and make sure that they get some of this encouragement in the middle of all the crazy, in the middle of the chaos. We're trying to give some hope. Love you guys. I hope y'all have an awesome weekend. I won't be doing this on Saturday, Sunday, but we'll pick it back up on Monday at 1 o'clock Central Time right here on Instagram. Thank y'all so much. Have a great day. Bye.